Acha. Now we will discuss about how it is being AS is equal to AD approach we have talked about, how it is being represented through diagram and schedule. In the previous chapter we have talked that when your income is zero, your consumption will be there. Minimum consumption, that is your minimum consumption or autonomous consumption. Even if your income is zero, your consumption will be there. So y is equal to s and consumption is there, and we know change in C and change in divided by change in y is MPC, marginal propensity to consume. So here it is 0.5 as it is constant in all the point. We are not going in that details. New things which is being added, that is the investment. I is represented by the investment. We know the formula of AD is equal to C plus I. When you add consumption plus investment, you get the AD. So 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 plus 10, 40 as it goes on. Now, as you can see, investment is constant. Why? See, investment, there are two type of investment concept in these things. One is called autonomous investment, another is called induced investment. Autonomous investment, where the investment is constant here. And why it is constant? Before beginning of this topic I have told, it is in the case that technology investment will be constant. Only one factor that will be changing, that is the employment.
So investment in 10 equivalent.
I have taken 10, you can take 20, whatever you like. You can take 5, I have taken 10. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to take 10. Now, autonomous consumption, why? Because at the beginning of the topic I have told the price, technology and investment will be constant in short run equilibrium. Therefore, it is constant. But your output is your S, means aggregate supply, or your income, Y. We have talked about Y is equal to S when your market price is equal to factor cost, when there is no government intervention. So here it is constant, and we are getting AD C plus I, adding C plus I. And another is induced investment. What is? Changes with the change of income. When your income changes, when your supply changes, it changes. It generally happens in long run. So we are here talking about the short run equilibrium, not long run. So induced investment, where changes with the change in your income. And autonomous investment, where it is rather change with your change in income, and it is constant. Now we will go to the diagram. Now see, when your income is 0, consumption is how much? 20. So it is starting from 20. So C line is starting from 20. When your income is 0, your AD is how much?
30.
So your AD line is starting from 30. So there is always a gap of 10 is there. Why? See, this gap 10 is being represented by this one. I line. Investment is constant in all the point. Therefore, the gap between AD and C line, AD line and C line is constant. The gap between AD line and the C line is constant. That is 10. Why? Because the investment is constant in all the level of output. Huh? And therefore, there is a gap of 20 and 30, 10. Now, we have talked Y is equal to C is an equilibrium stage. See, when your income is Y is 40, consumption is 40, that is equilibrium. This is the point of equilibrium. When we are talking about the relation between Y and C. When we are talking about the relation between Y and AD, 60 and 60, it is happening afterwards. So equilibrium has been happening in 60. So I can say my output has increased when I am talking the relation between Y and AD. And when we are talking about the relation between Y and C, the output was less. And when we are talking about the relation between 1 and AD, the output is more. Now, this is the equilibrium, and this is the equilibrium of C and Y. This is the equilibrium of AD and Y. Before this, there is a dis-savings, previous concept. After this, it is savings, and this is the point of equilibrium. So, here dis-savings is happening. Why? Because you are not able to cover up the or your income doesn't able to cover up your aggregate cost or aggregate demand. So here we can say one thing another. We can say here, what is your AS is less than AD. We can say your AS, it is AS, aggregate supply, and your AD is more. What does it means? Your supply here, this means what? This means your supply is less. Your supply is less than AD means unsatisfied demand. There is an unsatisfied demand. Why? Because your supply is 100 but demand is 150. Therefore, unsatisfied demand. To come to the equilibrium, to this position, what you have to do? You have to increase your labor. We have talked about these things. We have to reach from this position to this position, I have to increase my labor. And this position, what is this? Here, AS is greater than AD. Means what?
Oversupply.
Oversupply means unsold stock. And unsold stock. Why? Because oversupply of employment. So I will cut off the employment to reach to this equilibrium.
Yes, undersupply.
So from here to here, I will, what I will do? From here to here, to reach to here, I will increase employment. From this point to this point, from going from here to here, I will reduce employment. From here coming, I will reduce. From here going up to this point, from this point, I will increase the employment. So this is the point where AS is greater than, less than AD, and this is the point where your AS is greater than AD. So here is unsold stock, here is the unsatisfied. Or rather we can say from this point here, before this point, there is a unsatisfied demand up to this point. After this point, there is a unsold stock. To reach to this position, I have to reduce employ, and from here to come this point, to reach to this point, I will do employment to reach to this point, and to come to this point, here I will do what? Increase employment. To go from this point to this point, I will reduce employment, and from coming from this point to this point, I will increase employment. And this is the point where AS is less than AD, and this is the point where AS is greater than AD, and this is the point where AS is equal to AD. कोई क्वेश्चन है? कोनो क्वेश्चन है? Sure?